Basically, we're kind of in a plateau. Prices, we're still seeing competing offers. That's usually due to agents undervaluing the properties to get the hype going. So we're still seeing bidding wars and competition, but the end values of the homes don't seem to be increasing more than they've hit. The average detached home price is, just over the 800,000 mark. Comparing back to pre-COVID, everything seemed to jump about 200K. A number of active listings. So July, you can see a reduction in inventory compared to what was going on in what we called our early spring market. So we had a tornado hit about 2 weeks ago, displaced quite a few families. So I just want to go over what this means for investors, how investors can help if they do have any rental areas.
What is up, YouTube? Matt McKeever here, and we're back with our local Barrie expert, Colby Marshall. Hey, Colby, how's it going?
Good. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm excited to hear what's going on. I know I took last month off, but you caught up with another team member breaking down what was going on in the Barrie market, and you've put together another presentation for us. But before we jump into that, just what's in general going on, Does the Barrie market still going hot? Does it seem like a lot of the other markets where it's catching its breath these days? Any insights you can share with us at the top of the video?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, we're kind of in a plateau type market. Prices, we're still seeing competing offers, but that's usually due to agents undervaluing the properties to get the hype going. So we're still seeing bidding wars and competition, but the end values of the homes don't seem to be increasing more than they've hit. So the prices have kind of plateaued. We haven't pulled away from bidding wars just because people are still using the tactic of pricing things low. We are seeing a bit of a reducing in inventory, which is, again, seasonal. Usually for this time of year, everyone's out vacationing. So, there's less and less on the market. People are taking time to go around and, take vacations, visit family, friends. Now things are opening up as well. So, we're kind of in a plateau. It's late summer market. Things will try to ramp up again in the fall. So I think, I wouldn't be worried about prices cooling too much, but they're kind of just at an even keel at this particular point. So.
Gotcha. Appreciate you sharing the perspective. So let's jump into it. I know you've got a presentation put together for the month of July here. So what did we see going on?
Yeah, for sure. So we'll do a quick market update for Barrie, Orillia, and Innisfil. Those have been the three areas we've been chatting about for the last couple of months. All three of those areas have approved the garden suites. So those are the big hot ticket items for a lot of investors. So we'll kind of get into the stats for that, give you an update there. And then, we're going to touch on what happened here last week in Barrie with the tornado that came through, how that's going to affect investors, how that's going to affect people, how you can also help if you do have rental properties that are vacant in the area. And then we'll go into a little bit of a quick update too on the city of Barrie and what they're doing with the potential revision of their zoning bylaw that is affecting garden suites. So we'll hop right in. So again, this is a quick map of Simcoe County. Today we're going to be talking about Innisfil, which is right here, Barrie, and Orillia, which is up further on the water. So let's get into Barrie to start. So this is the average sale price. Again, you can see May, June, July, everything has been pretty well at the same threshold. The average detached home price is, just over the 800,000 mark. And again, comparing back to pre-COVID, everything seemed to jump about 200K from back about a year ago. So a number of active listings. So July, you can see a reduction in inventory compared to what was going on in what we called our early spring market. So we had a really early spring market that was really hot, tons of inventory. You can see coming out of the winter that, we needed that to get that boost in inventory. Now we're seeing inventory start to come down. So, if it keeps continuing to go lower, we should be able to see prices jump again. Hopefully we don't. We see a bit of more normalized market. This 15-20% increase per year is not sustainable. So we'll see what happens here the next little while, but we are seeing a decline. And again, this does happen in late summer. Everyone is usually on holidays. It's a bit slower time. So, so this is always an interesting chart in these crazy markets. The list price versus sold price. So at the end of the day, the green bar is what agents are listing it for, and the blue bar is how much they're going over the sale price. So if you kind of compare this chart to the first one we looked at, most of the homes, the average homes was just over 800,000, and that's where the average sale price is. This basically shows you that people are undervaluing properties for a list price just to get those bidding wars still. So, the price seems to be continuously the same for the last about 90 days. But with lesser inventory, they're going to start pricing them a bit lower just to get those bidding wars because there's still not a lot of inventory on the market.
Yeah, really appreciate you sharing that tip.
For Orillia, we actually had prices go up in Orillia this month. So you can see the average has trended back up, which is rather interesting. Again, in Orillia, there's a lot more waterfront properties and things like that, cottagey kind of properties that could be pushing this up. People always looking for that. There's a lot more inventory coming on in that side of things. So that's the average sale price. Next one here is the active listings. Again, starting to trend down long-term for summer. We're seeing the inventory start to come down a bit. Not as crazy busy up in the Orillia area. Barrie's still hopping along quite nicely. This one here is a huge gap here from the list price to the sale price. So people are listing, it seems to be the sweet spot just over 600,000 and, getting those bidding wars and pushing it up quite high. There are a lot of gaps in the different built forms of housing. A lot of the stuff that we're picking up in the Orillia area, we're picking it up for high fives, low sixes. So again, there's a lot of higher end units that are probably skewing this up for this month. It could be some of the waterfront and stuff like that as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, appreciate you sharing that. And I guess do you mind going back? I'm just curious. Any thoughts on the difference between this month and last month from both the list and sale price?
Yeah.
Or is that just the kind of difference in properties? And because Orillia is a smaller market, it's more likely to see a bit more volatility depending upon what's listed and sold?
Yeah, there's a lot less inventory that's on the market at one given time. So if there's a couple big sales,
right,
a couple waterfront properties sell for 1.3 or 4 million, and the rest of the inventory is lower, then the gap will be higher and things like that. So I think it's easier to get volatility, like you said, with just the different spans of price points and the minimal amount that is being sold in that marketplace at one given time.
Gotcha. Yeah, thanks for that.
All right, Innisfil, it's the newest, latest, greatest area for the garden suites. We'll drop some quick stats on here. Average sale price trending down currently in the Innisfil area. I actually took the waterfront properties out of this one. So again, that could be going on in the Orillia one. So
yeah,
but again, just over 800,000, pretty similar to the Barrie area. And, we'll see what the inventory is like here. Again, trending down quite a bit. But again, seasonality, summer-wise, it's about the norm. It is rather low for the seasonality, but seeing a decline, it's nothing to worry about. It's when we start hitting these levels like we did back in January, where there's almost no inventory whatsoever. It's really scary. But again, people are listing, and this has a less of a sale price. So this is a weird little area. The fact that this is happening, so we might be seeing a bit of a cooling in this side of town, but it's going to keep our eye on it and see what we can do, and maybe we'll have some deals to be snatched up there as well. So that's the stats. I just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened here in Barrie the last little while. So we had a tornado hit about 2 weeks ago, displaced quite a few families. So we just want to go over what this means for investors, how investors can help if they do have any rental areas. So essentially over 50 families have been displaced in the Barrie area. We've heard stories that for more of the damaged homes that they could be out of their home for almost 2 years. So if anybody has any rental properties becoming vacant or vacant, give us a call. There's a lot of affected families. These are AAA class tenants, that might need a place for a year or two, where you could really pick up some AAA tenants for a temporary period of time, help somebody out as well. There's a lot of GoFundMe pages out in Barrie too to help these families and help them get them on their feet. There's pretty well a negative inventory for rental units right now. due to this tornado. Like, we were in a bad spot before this happened. Now you just added in essentially 50 qualified people that make good money, and everyone is just scrambling for spots.
And obviously a very urgent need.
Yeah, big time. So if anybody has anything coming up or the near future in the next couple months, let us know. Being part of the Barrie Real Estate Board, we are getting notices all the time, even if people have long closings for houses and they want to rent it out for a couple months while they move in somewhere else. Anything anybody can do to help, definitely get in contact with us, just because there is a lot of people hurting and there's nowhere to go. So I just kind of wanted to touch on that as well. And give you guys a quick update as well on what's going on with the potential zoning bylaw change for the city of Barrie. We had an invite-only discussion with the city of Barrie. So it was myself, a couple other bigger players in the garden suite, second suite side of the business. We sat down with select professionals from the city of Barrie, kind of have voiced our opinions, our concerns, and they're going to be taking that back up to running up the flagpole on their end. Hopefully come back to council with something better in September when council sits again. So we are working closely with the city of Barrie. If you have any questions or you want to make any more concerns known, definitely get in contact with us. We will help push that through for you and make sure that those notes are taken by the city of Barrie, and hopefully we'll get a good rapport and kind of go from there. So.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that. And I just want to emphasize for anyone that's watching this, particularly, obviously, if you're a local Barrie investor, or maybe you're just an aspiring Barrie investor, or maybe you're just someone that wishes Barrie had more rental units right now. I think it's important to understand that those letters do actually matter, especially when we're talking like more on the local government level, right? It can be really easy when you're thinking about national governments, what does my voice matter or what does one letter mean? But like in a smaller city, like at 5, 10, 20 extra letters can really make a difference to a council member or make them really think, oh, this is a more important issue. So really appreciate you fighting on behalf of investors, and again, want to encourage any local investors to reach out. Do you mind also just giving us a little bit of perspective, Colby? Should investors, if they were thinking about doing a garden suite, do they need to panic, or like it still makes sense to want to move forward on these projects, right? Like they should still be.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are advising most of our investors. We're targeting Orillia seems to be the best spot for numbers. They're a lot quicker on their permit processing and things like that. Barrie, there is some risk to, they could change it in September. That could be that quick. So, the amount of time it takes to do everything to get a permit set complete, the time is ticking. If you're buying something, you have to have your permit in before the bylaw does change. So the next potential date that it would change in Barrie is September. That's mid-September. So if you're getting your floor plans, you got to get all your engineer design. You're looking at 6 to 8 weeks before you get your permit package put together before you can submit it to the town. So if you haven't bought anything already in Barrie, I would wait. Look in Orillia, look in Innisfil, just so you know which direction it is. See what happens in September, because if you buy something right now and you don't get your package put together quickly enough, you could really have a different vision of what's going to happen. You have a vision of what you want to build, but the city of Barrie has a different idea. By the time this is all said and done, you're going to have everything all ready to go, submit for your application, and then it's going to all change. You're going to waste money, waste more time. So, just be shying away from new acquisitions in Barrie, or if you review the new bylaw and you're okay with both versions of what could happen, and again, it could even change even furthermore from that. So it's just to mitigate risk, maybe pause for a month or two, or look at Innisfil or look at Orillia. But it's just everything up in the air right now, and everything takes so long. I would be a little weary on jumping in with something of a smaller lot in Barrie for sure. Anything like you want to make sure you buy something a lot bigger, like 60 by 150. You don't want to be buying anything on the cusp of kind of what they've been talking about. So, the 5,000 square foot lots is on the cusp of what they're talking about for size wise. The size of the garden suite could be based contingent on the size of the main dwelling. So there's so many different factors right now where you could have a nice setup for maybe 800 square foot garden suite with a basement. This new legislation could say, no, too bad. You can do 400 square feet, no basement. So depending on how you're running your performers, your ARVs, there's quite a bit of risk here because we are in limbo with these new potential changes. So just kind of be aware of that. But like I said, Innisfil and Orillia, they're open for business. There's no risk there. They've made their bylaw. They thought it through. They're not thinking of changing it at this particular point. So that would be my advice for people. And we'll be keeping an eye on it. September, they're going to present again to council, potentially, is what we're hearing right now. So that's kind of the timeline you have to get your applications in at this particular point.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate you sharing that very valuable advice with the audience, Colby. And sorry, jump back into it.
Yeah, no, so for sure, I just want to go over who we are, what we do. So my name's Colby Marshall. I'm with eXp Realty, so I'm a realtor by trade. We also run a company called MCIS, which is Marshall's Complete Investment Solutions. We provide end-to-end project management on top of the acquisition if you use us for our real estate services. We specialize in second suite, triplexes, multifamily conversions. We do lot severances, infill developments, land assemblies, anything you need or want to get plugged into or need help with, we can definitely help you out or guide you into the professionals that can help you. We've got the power team of real estate agents as myself. We've got designers, contractors. We apply for eco credits, HST rebates for you. We've got wholesale pricing on appliances, property management teams that we work with, paralegals, end-to-end turnkey experience. Every investor book I ever read, chapter 1 is finding your power team. We have that whole power team ready to go for you. All he's got to do is plug in. So we're here and we're servicing the whole Simcoe County area. We also have a project management software that we use. We brought in last year. It's the builder trend. So we update everything in real time right on your phone. All the pictures, billing, floor plans, everything's updated in real time right to your phone so you can see what we're doing. We can actually brand this app to you for your joint venture partners. So your joint venture partner can see all the work you're doing while we're doing the work for you. A lot of our clients in the JV space love it. It's making them look like rock stars as well.
Yeah.
We're completely Ontario unregistered. So we are a registered builder in the eyes of Ontario. We're fully insured. We spend an exorbitant amount on insurance, WSIB, builder's risk. It's a big bill we pay every month. But the quantity that we're building at, we have to do things right. So we are taking those steps. We are fully registered. So our product does come with a 7-year warranty. And, we've come from a background of builders, my family anyways. So we have a wealth of information on top of our own experience as well. So that's a little bit about us. And if you have any questions, please reach out and we'll go from there.
Awesome. Yeah, really appreciate it, Colby. And again, just want to highlight for everyone the importance of having someone like Colby on your power team, right? Just the other day, I was talking to a couple of aspiring investors that were thinking about investing in Niagara, and they want to start an Airbnb. And I was like, that the bylaws are about to change, right? Have you double checked that you're going to fall within the new bylaws? And they were like, our realtor didn't even say anything about bylaws. And I was like, and for anyone watching this, they weren't using our sponsored realtor, Kayla, who's from Niagara, because Kayla's the one that told me, so I even knew about it. More than half the time I sound smart on my channel. It's because of guys like you and ladies like Kayla that are telling me about what's going on, and they're just so dialed in to what's going on in their local market. And it's really easy for someone to understand high level. Like Barrie does garden suites now. Versus Colby, who's like, hey, we do garden suites, right? And I just wanted to highlight that for everyone at home because, again, potentially, depending on how this changes, having an expert like Colby in your corner could mean the difference between being able to do a project and not do the project, right? If you didn't know going in that these rules are potentially going to change.
Yeah, and it's so open-ended right now at Barrie. Like, they've proposed quite a few things. We've said, well, we think you should do it this way. So we've given our feedback, but we don't know where it's going to shake out yet either, right? So they're back to the drawing board. They could just say, forget what you guys think, we were going to do it this way. Like, we don't know, right? Or they could come up with a whole new brainwave and it could be something completely different. So it's really tough to say. And when, we're acquiring houses in Barrie for high $600,000, $700,000 to start, then you're putting another couple $100,000 into converting it to a duplex and then a garden suite. You just want to make sure that you're going to hit your ARVs, get your money back out, because, just a second suite conversion, the numbers aren't making much sense. You have to get that garden suite in the Barrie area to, get a good refi on there, get your rents up where it makes sense. So just be a little cognizant of that and know that things could change relatively quickly.
Absolutely. And so if you guys at home want to reach out to Colby, whether you want to talk about garden suites or whether you're looking to buy in Barrie, Orillia, or anywhere else in Simcoe County, there's going to be links in the video description down below to all of his contact information. Again, really encourage you to reach out to a local expert like Colby. If you're going to be buying in Simcoe County, reach out to Colby. And again, just really appreciate the insights and the breakdowns on what's going on in your local market.
Yeah, anytime. Thank you.